Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. Welcome back. If you've been practicing with me, welcome to anyone new finding the videos for the first time. As you can see, I don't have my chair with me today. That's because I'm mostly going to be on the ground. If you do want to use your chair, go ahead and grab it and you can modify the postures in the chair. Or you can use the chair just as a stability prop, kind of like how you would use blocks at any time. That's an option as well. But we're mostly going to be seated and lying down on the mat. So hopefully you can find a comfortable seat on the floor, and I'll meet you back there and we'll get started. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to make my way down to the floor here, and we're going to start with our warm up. So finding any comfortable seated position, legs can be crossed, they can be loosely crossed in easy seated position. If you're feeling ready and you want to come into a lotus or a half lotus and that's in your practice, go ahead and find that as well. I'm just going to find a nice easy seated cross-legged position and sitting up nice and tall on the sit bones. If you are in your chair, go ahead and just find a nice comfortable position, back nice and tall, feet planted on the floor or the blocks. Our hands can come down to our thighs or our lap or our knees, and we can turn the palms down or up if it helps you to feel more connected and centered and grounded by bringing hands to touch belly and heart center. That's an option as well. And then we can just finally, if it feels comfortable in the space you're in, to close your eyes, you can do that. If not, just maybe gently turning the gaze down towards the floor, finding a nice stable place you can rest your eyes. And then we can maybe start to turn our attention inward to our breath. Notice the rhythm and the cadence of the breath. Notice if we're sort of sticking or if the breath feels nice and smooth, and just try to notice the natural flow of the breath before we start manipulating and changing it. I know it's really difficult at the minute you say, oh, I'm going to tune into my breath to keep it natural, but just doing our best to breathe naturally here. Notice where the breath is flowing. Is it low in our bellies, high in our chest? Can we feel it more flowing in and out of our nose? There's no right or wrong. We're just noticing. And we might want to also notice our physical body. So noticing any areas of discomfort or pain, and maybe just bringing a hand to those areas. So if we're feeling any discomfort somewhere, just bringing a light touch just so we can draw some attention to it and maybe send a little loving kindness that way to begin with here. So if you have no pain or discomfort, no problem. Just keep scanning the body, noticing how we're feeling, noticing where we're sort of rooted down and touching the mat or the chair. Notice where maybe we're feeling not physically connected to the mat, maybe underneath the knees, depending on how we're seated. Noticing our spine. Do we feel slouchy? Do we feel nice and tall? And then just scanning the body with a nice deep breath. We'll start to deepen the breath, filling our bellies, ribs, and chest on our inhale. And on the exhale, pressing it all out and letting the air come out, chest, ribs, and belly. Inhale to fill belly, ribs, and chest. Imagine filling the core in all directions here. And exhale, everything draws back into center. Inhale to fill belly, ribs, and chest, and exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. A couple more rounds at your own pace. Really taking these quiet moments here to put aside anything that's not going to be needed during our practice. So all the what ifs and the I wish I hads of the week. And just trying to really land here and now. And after another round or two of this full deep breath, we can start to flutter the eyes open if they were closed. Just start to let the light in, take in our surroundings, remind ourselves that we're here on our mats. We found this time to focus on ourselves. And we're going to flow through our nice yoga flow. Let's continue our breathing and we'll add a bit of movement. We'll inhale, sweep our arms up overhead. Inhale here. Really reach and find length through the side bodies here. Make space for more air. And then exhale nice and slow as if you're pressing through some slime or something a little nicer than slime maybe. And then inhale, same thing, nice big reach up. Find length through the side body. So root down through those sit bones, reach up through the fingers, and then press down nice and slow. Exhale. A couple more rounds like this. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you're holding your breath for a little tiny bit at the top here. Maybe you're finding a nice smooth breath. Find what works for you here. And one more round. Reach, 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 and exhale. Okay, let's find a nice tall inhale here. And we're going to bring our left hand behind, right hand crosses over to find opposite knee. So we'll find ourselves in a gentle twist here. We're still rooting down through the sit bones, twisting through the belly, ribs, and chest. And maybe if it feels okay, looking over the back shoulder. Spend a breath here. And then exhale, come around to the center and we'll go to the other side. Let's bring that right hand behind. Bring it nice and close to our body so that when we kind of press into the fingers or the palm, it helps us sit up nice and tall. And the left hand crosses over, finds the outside of that knee, and a gentle guiding of the hands helps us get into our twist. Maybe we look over the back shoulder here for a round of breath. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, we'll come around to the center. Let's do that again. So we'll take our left hand behind, right hand crosses over, and we'll find ourselves in this twist. If we feel good here and we're pressing into the fingers and we're sitting up nice and tall, stay here. Maybe we want to reach, if you can see this hand, I'm reaching this left hand around my back to kind of find the right hip. And that just deepens the twist a little bit. This might be intense at the beginning, so skip it if it doesn't feel good. And take an inhale here, and then on the exhale, we'll unravel both arms, come around to the front, and we'll go to that other side. Let's plant that right hand behind, help us sit up nice and tall. Left hand crosses over, and we guide ourselves into the twist, and then maybe this right hand can sneak around, find that left hip for a little bit more twist and opening, and a little bit more stretch maybe down the front of the right shoulder, staying for a full round of breath. Take an inhale here. And then exhale around to the front, unravel everything. Good. Let's roll the shoulders a couple of times. Both directions. Take another inhale here, reach up. And as we exhale, we'll bring our hands behind our head. Now we're going to stay up nice and tall. So we've got a nice tall spine here, elbows reaching out to the side. We're going to twist around the spine, kind of like how we were doing in the last seated twist. And I'm hoping that with our hands here, we can really feel that we need to use our core. There's nothing guiding us this time to twist over towards one side. Now, let's pretend we've got like a stick through our arms here, so we can't bring them in like this. So really the work is coming from the core here. So we're not leading with this elbow, we're leading through the core. All right, let's stay for a breath. Inhale and exhale here. Inhale one more time and exhale around to the center. Readjust. You can let the hands go for a minute, shake it out. And then inhale, arms back to the back of the head. And then we're going to twist to the other side. So again, pressing down through those sit bones, using the core strength to help us twist. Don't let the elbow do the work. Let the core do the work. Whoops, I've just lost an earring. There we go. On the next exhale, let's come around to the front. Awesome. Let's release the hand one more time. Shake out the shoulders. We'll do one more stretch here. Inhale. Let's let that left hand find the side, and we'll reach over right hand here. Feeling a nice big stretch all the way down right side body. So really stay heavy through both sit bones and stay open. Keep rolling that top shoulder down and back. So we stay open, find a side bend here. Inhale, let's come up through center. Reach the arms up. Exhale, let that right hand come down. Left arm sweeps over on the exhale. So again, don't come up off the sit bones. Stay grounded here and stay open, facing the front of the room for that nice deep side stretch. All right, let's come up through center. Inhale and exhale, release. Let's make our way to our tabletop here. So we'll just roll over onto all fours. Here we want to make sure we stack the knees under the hips as always, and wrists under shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide, make a nice wide palm, and press the mat away. Engage through the core here. Find a nice flat back. Really feel that foundation built, and then press the tops of the feet into the mat as well. And then we can find our cat-cow. So now we're going to let the belly drop. We're going to feel that stretch and opening through the front side body. Tilt the tailbone up. Look up here and pull sort of the heart space through the shoulders. And then as we exhale, we're going to start to round through the spine. Push the mat away to help splay the shoulder blades. This is our exhale, cat back. Moving with our breath here again. Let's inhale, find cow. Exhale, cat. Couple more rounds. So if you want to do any other movements here, maybe you want to look side to side, maybe you want to do barrel rolls, whatever feels needed in your body to help get into the spine. You can even send the hips back a little bit, come forward. So a few more rounds of breath, finding any movements. One more big exhale, press the mat away, splay those shoulder blades, and then come to a neutral spine. Readjust if needed, and we're going to do a little twisting. So we may want to take our right hand, and instead of having it under the right shoulder exactly, just bring it underneath the face. We're just going to bring it into the center a little bit, just for a bit of balance. And you may find you want to open the knees up a little bit, toes might touch. Because we're going to swing our arms, well, we're going to lift our arm and open up here. So any adjustments you need to make, and then we're going to take the weight out of the left hand into the right and press into that right hand to help us sweep the left arm up and open here. So you can see how maybe moving the hand into the center will help you find balance. So take an inhale here, find this big opening, and then exhale, and we're going to thread the needle underneath, but we're not going to stay. We're going to press into that right hand, open up again. Inhale. Let's do that a few more times. Exhale, thread the needle, open up. All right, exhale, open up one more time here. Inhale. This time we'll stay, so thread the needle, come down onto the left ear or the forehead, and then find that shoulder stretch. Using the right hand as support. Hips are high. Keep breathing. And then press into that right hand. One more big opening. Inhale. And then we'll just lower it down and then we'll switch sides. So now the left hand, you may want to scooch it in, find what feels good. And then pressing into that left hand, it's going to help us lift and open right arm up to the ceiling. Find your inhale here. And then exhale, thread that needle, don't stay, just lower down. And then press into the hand, open up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale here, don't stay. We have one more big inhale here. And this time we'll stay down. So thread that needle, lower the right ear or the forehead down to the mat. And just like before, we're using that left hand as support, maybe even a little gentle pressure into the mat. We're feeling a twist and work through the waist to stretch down the back of the right shoulder. Hips are high. And we'll stay for one more round of breath. And when you're ready, on your inhale, press into that left hand. Let's sweep it open. Take a big inhale one more time. And then exhale, lower down. Good. Draw the knees back in. Let's send the hips back and just come into a bit of an active child's pose here just for a moment. Knowing we can come to child's pose at any time. All right, so we're going to move through a few rounds of stretching out through the hip flexors and hamstrings. So we want to come into our tabletop. If you feel like you want to step into our low lunge from a downward dog, of course you can curl the toes under, lift the hips up, come into a downward dog, and then bend the knees to step that first leg through. Or, of course, from tabletop, we can do that as well. We may just need to make a bit of space to help step that right foot through, and then we'll all climb up onto our knee. Now, if this is too much on the knee, you can put any padding underneath, depending on the type of mat you have. You could roll the mat up as well, just to add a little additional support here. Now, let's make sure, I'll unroll my mat so we can see better. We want to try and have a nice alignment in the front here. It's okay if the knee goes across the toes, that's fine. But we want to try and make sure the weight's in the foot over the knee and ankle here. And we want to try and send the hips deeper. So we're not trying to lean forward here. We're trying to hold ourselves upright and then lean deeper in. You can see that I don't have two 90-degree angles here. This leg might be in a 90 degree or just over. This leg's reaching along and I'm feeling a nice hip flexor stretch here. So you can stay here. You can hold on to blocks or the chair, like I said, or you can stay down if you like. If you've come up this far, maybe we can also inhale and reach the arms up. Biceps beside ears, sinking deep, feeling that nice hip flexor stretch. Inhale here, exhale. Maybe sink a little deeper if we can. Inhale here one more time. As we exhale, the arms are going to come down, planting on blocks or floor, and we're going to see if we can send the hips back, lift the toes off the mat, and feel a nice hamstring stretch. So flex these toes, point them up towards your face, and think about pointing not just the big toe, but the baby toes as well, or toe, all the toes really. Stay with a nice tall spine here. Really feel that hamstring stretch. And we'll stay for 3, 2, and 1. Let's come forward again. If we like, we can take a big inhale, exhale, open. Inhale here to open, and then exhale, lean forward. And we're going to actually just come out of this by stepping the right foot back, finding our tabletop. Take a round of cat-cow if you'd like, or barrel rolls, or anything that felt good before, or maybe you want to even come into a child's pose. So your choice. Wherever you are, find 2 more breaths. Maybe you're in downward dog. All right, let's come to neutral spine or your downward dog. And then when we're ready, we're gonna find that left foot stepping forward and finding our low lunge here. Again, double up any cushioning under the back knee that's needed. Sink the hips nice and low. And if you feel nice and stable and strong, by squaring off the hips, you can maybe climb up, resting hands on knees, sinking those hips a little deeper. Maybe we can inhale and reach the arms up. Sinking the hips deeper. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we'll lean forward onto blocks or floor, and exhale, find that hamstring stretch. So we're straightening that front leg now, find back of the leg stretch. Flex the toes up. Try to square the hips off. Stay for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's come forward again. Maybe we inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, open up. Hips are heavy. Let's inhale here, and then we'll exhale down, and we'll step that left foot back. Good. Do a couple rounds of cat-cow, shake it out, or find child's pose. Or downward dog. All right, let's come back to our tabletop. We'll add on. So we're going to step that right foot through again. Help it get there if it needs help. Sink the hips low. Climb on up. Reach up. Inhale here. This time we're going to keep that left arm up. We're going to sweep the right arm down and reach down towards a block or floor. I'll just turn towards the front, show you what that might look like. So we're in our nice low lunge here, and we're taking our right hand, we've got our right leg in front, right hand reaches down, left arm reaches up and over. So you may have a block here to bring the floor up to you, feeling a nice side stretch. Let's come back up through center. Inhale here. As we exhale, we're not going to straighten the front leg, but we're going to plant the left hand down and we're going to twist open, finding a nice twist towards the right knee. Keep drawing the knee in, keep pressing the belly into the legs. Find that twist. Staying here, I'm just going to turn back to the side. Reposition myself here. So it'll look like this, a nice low twist. Let's stay for one more breath. And then let's lower down. And from here, let's send the hips back. We'll find a quick hamstring stretch. And then come forward and step that right foot back. Child's pose, cat-cow, downward dog, a little shaking out, maybe stepping side to side, whatever you need here. Reset for the left leg to come through, so we'll just help that left leg get through if we need to. Sink the hips, climb on up, and inhale, reach up. Good. Let's let the left hand fall down to the block or the floor, and the right arm this time reaches up and over. So you can notice maybe how that changes the stretch in the right hip flexor. It deepens it. Well, it deepens it for me. I shouldn't speak for everyone. Good. One more breath here. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, lean forward. Don't straighten the leg. Plant that right hand and then twist towards the bent left leg. Keep the hips sinking low. Twist open. Keep drawing the knee in towards the belly, belly in towards the leg. Press into the right hand. Stay for a breath. Inhale here. Exhale, twist towards the front leg. Send the hips back. Find that quick little hamstring stretch here. And then we'll just come forward so that we can help bring the left foot back. Flow through your downward dog, your cat-cow, a vinyasa if that's in your practice. Any movement here. We're going to add on one more time. So let's step that right foot through again. Help it get forward. Help it find the opening here so that you can sink those hips. Remember, we don't want to be up on two 90-degree angles here. We want to sink the hips low. Find that nice stretch. Inhale, reach up. Let's do this again. Let's let the right hand fall down to the side as the left arm reaches over. Or you could reach the right arm, find a little bit of a twist and side bend by reaching the right arm to the back of the left leg, or reaching the right arm around, sort of to find that left hip. It just sort of opens up the chest and the shoulders towards the side of the room here. So you're in a twist and a stretch, and it deepens the hip flexor stretch as well. Stay for a breath. Good, let's untwist, reach up, inhale, exhale, lower. We're gonna find that twist again, so plant the left arm, reach the right arm up, and you can stay low or curl the toes under on the back leg and lift the knee. We're still nice and tight. Right knee drawing in, belly drawing towards the right knee, right arm reaching up. Stay for a breath. Knee can be lifted or lowered in the back. Let's exhale, come around to the front, lower the back knee, send the hips back, find that little hamstring stretch. And then we'll come forward just so we can step that right leg back. Take a moment here, reset, shake it out. And then let's step left foot through, help it get there if it needs it, sink the hips low, inhale, reach up. Nice sinking of the hips here. Left arm reaches down towards the floor, right arm reaches up and over. We have our side stretch hip flexor. Or maybe we reach back, add a little bit of a twist as we reach back for opposite leg, or maybe the back hand reaches around, grabs opposite hip. You see that just opens up the heart space a little bit more adds a twist, deepens the hip flexor stretch. If it's too much, skip it as always. One more round here of breath. Good, let's untwist. Inhale here, exhale to lower and plant the right hand. Sweep left arm up into a low twist, or lift the back leg and come into a higher twist. This leg pressing into the belly, belly pressing into the leg. Arms are strong, we're pressing into the mat. One more round of breath. And exhale, twist around to the front, leg can come down at the back, send the hips back, find your last hamstring stretch here. And then we'll come forward just so that we can come back to our tabletop. And now we can all find a child's pose. Spread the legs wide, make nice room for the belly and heart space to melt down. Reach the arms forward. Take a few breaths. Think about sending those hips over the heels. And then when we're ready, let's lift our forehead. We'll walk our hands back so that we can just make our way around to sitting on our glutes, but I'm going to stay sideways here rather than facing you. We're going to come into a butterfly pose. So feet together, make the diamond shape here as big or as little as you need. Send the squishy bits of the derriere out of the way so you're sitting nice and tall in the sit bones, and hands can reach for ankles, soles of feet, big toes, whatever feels best here. Take a big inhale to find a long spine, and then exhale forward. You can stay with a long spine or relax and melt down. Stretching out through the inner thighs here. And then we're going to come on up. We'll draw the knees together. We're going to create a little flow here. As we bring the hands behind us, the feet are planted on the ground. We're going to inhale to lift the hips. And then we'll exhale, lower. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to find that butterfly. Take an inhale and then exhale, lower. So we're just going to flow through that a couple of times. Inhale to come on up. Draw the legs together, plant the feet and the hands. And when you're on our next inhale, lift the hips up. So just finding a bit of smooth breath here. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lift. Draw the knees together. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So just a couple more at your own pace. And last round. Let's inhale, come on up. Fold forward, last time. Let's stay for an extra breath. And then we'll come on up. And we're going to draw the knees back together. We're going to put the feet on the floor again. We've still got these bent legs. And we're going to just lean back. So making a bit of space here because we're going to come into a seated pigeon. So if this is not something you want to try and you want to lay down on your back, of course, by all means, go ahead and we'll come into our figure four here. So I'm going to stay seated as an option. I just need to create a bit of space here. I don't want to be like this. How am I going to get my ankle up over my knee? So I just want to lean back and create a bit of space so I can walk my feet away a little bit. And then I can flex the right foot, cross it over the left knee, and just let that right knee fall open. Now here, this might be enough for you, or you might want to start closing that gap in a little bit. You can walk the foot closer, you can walk the bum closer, adjust the hands. Just make sure we're pressing into the hands and we're not just sort of collapsing and that we can't breathe. We want to stay nice and open to be able to breathe here. Feel that nice stretch down the right hip, outside right hip. You can stay in stillness or rock side to side. Same thing if you're on your back. And you can keep playing with the intensity by moving closer or further away. Now we're going to stay for one more breath, and then we're not going to unravel. We're going to actually, we might need to make a little bit of space here, and we're going to just roll onto the left hip, and all of a sudden now we're ready for a twist. Now you can come into your cow face pose where you've stacked both knees, or you can stay nice and lifted the way you landed here. Try to bring that right hip down, and then we'll bring right hand behind just like before, left hand around the knee, and we'll inhale, find a nice tall spine, exhale, find a twist here. Let's stay for one more breath. If you're on your back, you're just letting the knees fall over towards the left as well. Still in that crossed position. All right, let's exhale, come around to the front, lean over just to counterbalance that a little bit. Come on up, uncross the legs, stack the knees so you're seated in this little, I don't know, mermaid pose, I think they call this. Grab onto the ankles here with the right hand, sweep the left arm up and over. One more side stretch. And release. Good. We're just going to make our way back to our sort of bent knees, feet on the ground position. Make that nice space so we can lift and flex the left foot, cross it over right knee. You might be on your back, don't worry. Find your figure four. And if you're seated like me, start to find the amount of intensity you want down that left outer hip this time. You can stay in stillness, rock side to side. We're in our seated pigeon option here. Stay nice and lifted through the belly and heart center so you can find nice deep breaths. One more round. And then we might need to just open up the space a little bit so that we can, once again, just roll onto that right hip. You can come into cow face or keep the left foot planted, knee pointing up towards the ceiling, left hand behind, right arm crosses over, and we find our nice tall twist here. Take a few breaths. If you're on the mat, let the legs fall over to the right this time. Let's take a big inhale here, and as we exhale, we'll untwist. We'll just lean over a little counter stretch, and then we'll uncross the legs, let the knees stack. Left hand grabs onto the ankles, right arm sweeps up and over. All right, let's release. And let's just come around to a wide leg seated fold. So legs can be nice and open. If you're on your back, you can let the legs fall open or maybe come into a happy baby. We'll be joining you there shortly. If you're on the mat, sitting up nice and tall, rolling onto the pelvis, you may want to stick a rolled up towel or roll your mat up to help you find that height. So we have a nice wide V. And then with our nice long back and toes pointing up towards the ceiling, we're just going to walk ourselves forward as little or as much as we'd like. Let's keep that nice long spine to begin with for a couple rounds of breath. And then maybe walking it a little further or rounding down. So it's your choice there. We'll stay for one more breath. And then we'll start to walk ourselves back up. Excellent. Let's swing the legs together. Oh, that's a big swing. Make our way down to our back. Now we can hold on to the backs of our legs or one leg so we can use it as a bit of a lever to help us get down there. When we get down, let's draw both knees in towards the chest and we can rock side to side. Massage out the low back a little bit. And for those of us who haven't had a spinal twist on the ground yet, let's find that. So option to keep the knees tucked in and let them fall to one side, or any variation that feels good. Nice gentle twist. Maybe you want to plant the feet and just let the knees fall over. I like to hook my foot underneath the, I don't know how to say that, the leg that's coming closest. I like to take this top leg and hook the foot under. Somehow it keeps me in the twist a bit better so that I can be passively in the twist without like really clenching to hold the twist. And then we try and spread both shoulder blades along the mat. Arms can be in cactus or a T along the mat. So we're thinking about heart space reaching up here. Stay in our twist for a couple rounds of breath. Breathe into the whole side body here. And then let's inhale, use our core strength to bring those legs back up. Uncross them if you cross them like I did. And we'll go to the other side. So again, any variation. Maybe the knees are tucked in and you're rolling to one side. Maybe they're just on the floor and rocking over to one side. Or maybe like me, you like to find that little hook so that I can be in this stretch and this twist a bit more passively. And then we want to try and splay the shoulder blades onto the ground here. Open the heart space up towards the ceiling. Breathe into the side body. Nice, easy, gentle twist wherever you are. Take another inhale here and use your core strength to come back through center. Make any adjustments, uncrossing the legs. Draw the legs in towards the chest. Option here for happy baby, where soles of the feet reach up towards the ceiling, reaching for ankles, backs of thighs, or outside of the feet, drawing the knees down. Or option to do a nice legs up the wall. Really sort of let the legs be heavy if you're choosing this one, and let them be a bit floppy. Arms can reach up as well, shake it out if you're doing this one. Maybe you're rocking side to side in your happy baby. Anything that feels good just for the last few moments before we move into our Shavasana, which can take any form when you're ready. Feet can lower down to the mat. If you want to take any strain out of your low back, you may want to just step the feet wide and let the knees fall in together. Hands rest on belly and heart center or down by our side. Or if you want, you can spread out along your mat, reach the heels towards the corners of the mat, take up some space on your mat. Let's start to take a few breaths here and scan our bodies one more time. And just notice if any of those areas that we brought attention to at the beginning of class are still feeling tender or vulnerable. Bring your hands back to those places. If not, just acknowledge the change. Closing the eyes if it feels comfortable. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical, like healthy, happy hips. It's a time for integration and rest, and know that rest is different from sleep and that we need both every day, and we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. The beauty of practicing through the lens, of course, is if you want or need to stay in your Shavasana for any more time, please let the video play out or press pause now, and we'll see you here again next week. If not, and you want to start to bring some movement to your body, you can wiggle fingers and toes, maybe circle wrists and ankles. You can choose to stretch long on your mat or curl into a little ball just before rolling over to one side and making your way up to a comfortable seated position. From here, to close our practice, let's all take a big inhale together. We can sweep our hands up overhead. And then exhale, drawing the hands through prayer, resting them on heart center or back down on the knees, palms turned up or down, wherever you feel comfortable. I want to thank you so much for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces and for allowing me to guide you through this stretchy, hip, heavy flow. I hope it was exactly what you needed, and I'll see you here again next week. Until then, take care. Thank you, everyone. I hope that, like me, that was exactly what you were looking for, or at least pretty darn close. Have a great week. We'll see you here next week. Bye.